Okay, so who would like some business referrals?
Yes, please.
Okay, we can do better than that. Who would like some business referrals?
Yes.
That's a little bit better. Okay, in a few moments we're going to be doing something called a 60-second presentation, which is where everybody will get the opportunity to stand up and tell a little bit about their business. Tell us what they do, the kind of people they do it for, and what they're looking for this week. You might say the kind of business you'd like an introduction to, or you might mention a specific business you'd like an introduction to, or maybe even a specific person. And then the other members, over the course of the week, will try to find introductions for that person, for those particular businesses, and that's a referral. That's how we pass referrals within BNI. And it's all very, very exciting. Now, I'm quite good at passing referrals to people. If I do blow my own trumpet, I'm pretty good at that. And would you like to know the secret to how I managed to pass so many referrals? Is this on? Would you like to know the secret to how I pass so many referrals?
Yes, Darren.
Fantastic, right. I'm not good at it because I'm a naturally communicative person or like to talk to people. In fact, I don't even like people. I'm not particularly fond of myself most of the time. I spend most of my day sat behind a computer trying not to interact with the outside world. So that's not how I pass referrals. I do it by looking for a hook for a particular member. Now, what do I mean by a hook? Let's give you a for example. Let's say Zoe was an accountant, which, as luck would have it, she is. Let's say in her 60 seconds, Zoe stood up and said, I'm looking for introductions to businesses that need an accountant. Can I use any sort of hook there? Let's say, for example, I met you, and you run your own business, and I said to you, I know Zoe, she's an accountant. Could I introduce her to you? What would you say?
Yes, please.
Oh, you'd say yes, please.
Referral, well done.
That's one. Put it on, yes. You're not having that referral, Paul. Most people wouldn't say yes, please. It's not that easy. Most people would either say, I've already got an accountant, or I do it myself, thank you. But let's say Zoe was a bit more specific. She stood up and said, I'd like an introduction to a technology company. That's a bit more specific. I know what to look for. Let's say you run a technology company. And you've already said yes, so this is going to be quite... Would you like an introduction to Zoe because she's looking to speak with technology companies? And you'd say, no, there we go, there we go, no. See, that's... You need to coach people. You need to coach people on the answers. You'd say no, because why? Why would you want to? Well, let's say Zoe was even more specific. Now, Zoe doesn't do this. This is just a hypothetical example. But some people do this within BNI. What if Zoe stood up and said, I'd like to speak to a technology company because they tend to have very high growth, and it means they're worth a lot of money to my business. Okay, that's a reason that Zoe wants to speak to a technology company. Would you like to speak to an accountant called Zoe, because you run a technology company and you're worth a lot of money to her?
Yes, please.
No, you're worth a lot of money to her. Right. I shouldn't have picked on you. I can see your trouble. This is not good. But what if Zoe was a bit more specific than that? What if Zoe stood up and said, I'd like to speak to a technology company because depending on what they do, they may be able to do something called R&D, research and development claims, which allows them to put a portion of their staffing costs, going back a few years, and claim it against tax, which would save you thousands, possibly tens of thousands of pounds in tax.
I might be interested.
You might be interested. Exactly. And that's how I try to pass referrals. I don't want to introduce somebody because you've mentioned who they are, or what you do, or why you'd want to speak to them. I need to know why do they want to speak to you. Because when I pass introductions to people, they're not just accepting an invitation to talk to somebody. They really want to speak to you because you can help them. So, in a moment, I'm going to pass you over to Richard, and we're going to do our 60-second presentations. And in the true tradition of me doing these education slots, where I ruin other people's 60-second presentations moments before they actually do them, if you are asking for something specific, or a particular company, or a particular interest, don't tell us why you want to speak to them. Tell us why they want to speak to you. Because that will make it far easier for everybody else to introduce you and pass referrals to you, and we'll all get a lot more business. Thank you.